Welcome everyone to Word on the Street 2025 edition. New look, who this? All right, so we're gonna talk about the fact that people are stressed right now as we go into 2025. And I wanna just share with you what I'm seeing and some things I think you can do to cope with the stress that you may be experiencing. So let's get to it. People are stressed to start out 2025. There's a new leader at the helm of the United States of America, and folks are having big feelings about it, whether folks are for President Trump or were against President Trump, or whether they thought President Trump was going to do one thing and it's turning out that President Trump is doing another thing. Whatever the situation, folks are having big feelings and big anxieties about the new president in charge. And so I'm seeing that stress manifest in a variety of ways. In the workplace, people are on edge. People who voted for Trump feel like they're not getting the support they need from their colleagues and their peers. They feel like they have to hide in the shadows in their support of this new regime. Folks who were against Trump feel like they're just hopeless. They're stressed. They're overwhelmed. They don't know what to do. They don't know what's going to happen. It's a lot of doom and gloom in their bodies and their spirits, and they are overwhelmed by it. But by and large, one thing is consistent. Most folks are experiencing some level of tension and frustration, whether they want to or not, all right? Especially as it pertains to social media. So I don't spend a lot of time on social media. My primary platform that I dibble and dabble in is LinkedIn. However, my husband is on social media pretty aggressively. Many friends are on Facebook, TikTok. We're gonna talk about TikTok in a few episodes. Instagram, they're out there and they are getting just fired up with the conversation and with the fear mongering and with the baiting, and it's just too much. So the point of this conversation, as I say, welcome to 2025. This is our first Word on the Street of the year. It is a call to action to take control of the anxiety and the stress you are allowing into your life, okay? So I want to give you a few tools that I use on a regular basis, that I consult with people on a regular basis. Even my family, I encourage them to kind of take control, take the reins of their lives, take the reins of the amount of stress that they are allowing to enter into their lives. So here are a few things that I think you should consider doing. Number one, limit the tech. It's not forever, gang, but a tech detox during this fever pitch of, people are frustrated with big tech. People are frustrated with stores that are divesting in certain things. People are frustrated with how the media is representing Trump. People are frustrated with people being too beholden to him. I mean, folks are just frustrated across the board. So you know what you can do? And you have total power and control and authority over doing? Cutting it off. You have the ability to delete the app temporarily from your phone, to cut that phone off, to put some parameters around how much information you're going to consume. You have the choice to do that. So that's number one. Think about how much social media, how much electronic messaging you are allowing into your life. The second one that I do on a pretty regular basis is to focus on what you can control. I cannot control what President Trump is going to do tomorrow. I could not control what Biden did. I could not control what Obama did or what Clinton did. We have certain authority over things in our lives, and we have no authority over other things that impact our lives, right? So choose to place your time and energy in the areas that you actually have an influence or complete power over, right? So things that I like to focus on is community engagement. I like to focus on local politics, where I can actually go and shake a politician's hand and have a conversation with them. I like to focus on volunteering in the schools, right? We've got a fundraiser happening at Holy Redeemer in the coming weeks, and I am contributing. My husband, my entire family is contributing to that initiative. I am contributing to helping create peace inside work environments where folks are on edge and are very fearful and angry with one another. I can influence that. I have control over that. The things over which I have no control are things such as, what is Trump gonna do tomorrow, right? Or how will they treat Trump tomorrow? Whatever the paradigm is, you can actually stop placing your energy, your psychic energy in that space and focus it in areas that you actually can have an influence. Spending more time with your children, sitting down, having conversations with them. I'm gonna tell you something. 14-year-olds and 10-year-olds have some of the best conversations on the planet Earth. They see the world very differently than I do. And I'm sometimes sitting there like, what? Right? The things they say are hilarious. Why don't we spend more time in those spaces? All right, so that was number 2. Focus on what you have control over. And by the way, posting on a social media post is not like sticking it to the man. Hey, gang, because I can turn it off. And fun fact, I do turn it off. All right? The third one I want to highlight is create a barrier. Create a barrier between you and people or things that create that angst inside your body. You don't have to give them your time the way in which you are. Even if you need to spend time with them, let's say the lightning rod of stress is, I've been married for almost 20 years. The lightning rod of stress could be the way in which your spouse is responding to the current political climate. You can say to your spouse, and I have said to my spouse, I'm not talking about this with you. Miss me with that Trump conversation. Miss me with that DOJ conversation, or who's gonna be presenting before whoever about whatever that has to do in Washington D.C. and has no effect on my life. Miss me with that, sir. Right? I have control and authority over that. Also, the people I spend time with. If every time I come to you is doom and gloom, I just don't want to be in that energy. You have the right to not be in that energy. You can actually quiet the people who are in your social media who are constantly fire and brimstone or doing other anxiety-provoking things. You can silence them. You don't have to see them. Take control of your reality. So create barriers. All right, next one, the fourth one here, 4 out of 5 is to change up your routine. Okay, in the mornings, I used to get on my Skims, on my CNN summaries, on my Washington Post summaries, I would get all that top of the morning, right before I go to the gym, lets me know what's going on. Sometimes they've got things about the environment. Sometimes they've got things about politics. Sometimes they've got things about popular culture. It gave me a nice smattering of a variety of things, okay? I would read them in a particular order every single morning. But you know what? They are now saturated with Trump stuff. And I'm like, it's too much. So I turned them off. And I am now looking at other summary clips that snippet international and local trends that are happening. Because those are the things that I'm either interested in because it's less Trumpy, or I can have an influence on because it directly is impacting my backyard and I can go have a conversation, send an email, make a phone call, right? And so I'm switching up the way in which I consume information. I also am only doing social media at my lunchtime and right after work because I just don't have time for the way people's anxieties are jumping onto my life. So I created a new routine. It's not forever, but it is for now because I know that's what I need. Again, I'm telling you some things that work, and I know they work because I tell them to other people, and they're like, ooh, that was a pressure relief valve, right? Thank you for that. I'm just sharing them with you. You don't have to take them all. You don't have to take any, but I just want to give you some tools in your tool belt to help bring it down a bit. And the last one that I want to say is one that I say on a regular basis. Spend more in person, right? IRL, as my children would say, time with the folks you like. When was the last time you went out for coffee, or you went on a power walk, or you went, and had a spa day with your girlfriend or your guy friend or your social friend, right? When was the last time you picked up the phone and called your great aunt who you haven't talked to since last summer or a year ago? Check in. She's got something to tell you about. When is the last time you talked to your niece who was in the 3rd grade 2 years ago, but now has a cell phone? She's in the 5th grade. When is the last time you heard what was going on with your nephew who is now taking up photography and has a whole new passion? Do you even know what he's into? They have a phone. You should probably text them first before you call them. Don't leave a voicemail because they're not going to listen. It's a whole new breed of human being out there, but engage with them. When is the last time you went and just chopped it up with your neighbor? It's a little chilly outside in many places, right? But spring's coming back. Right? You can put on a nice coat and go for a walk in the neighborhood, and it just changes your endorphins. It changes the way you feel in your body. And you know what? Everybody likes a little bit of good community gossip. What's new? Who's splitting up? Say what? Now we're talking about things that are not just what's what is consuming social media and the general media, right? We are transcending that. We are going to the things that matter most. That's our community, that's local impact, that's going small ball, and that's really focusing on the things over which we have control and not feeling powerless, stressed, and anxious over something that you actually cannot change for many years to come. So that's this first installation of Word on the Street, 2025 edition. I see the stress, I see it, I see the anxiety, I see you being overwhelmed, and I'm giving you some tools. Here are some things you can do today to interrupt that, because 2025 is gonna 2025, all right? We can't change it all, but we can change some of it, right? So let's do it. Until next time. And if you got something else that's working, jump in the chat. Tell people what's working for you to help combat the stress and the anxiety. What are you doing? We want to hear from you. Happy 2025, y'all.